Hi, my name is Julie Shi, and this is my Data for Good project on social media impacts on one's body image. So, body image consists of thoughts and feelings one has about their body. It can be positive or negative, or a mixture of both, and it's influenced by different internal and external factors such as personality and social media. I chose this topic because I have myself struggled with body image as a dancer, and I'm passionate about helping others overcome this struggle. I'm also curious to see if I can show how much impact social media actually has on one's body image through performing data. So here's a little bit of background of the data set I use. So the data set I used was compiled by a professor at Boise State University, which was generously shared on the Mendeley's data website. And this data set includes survey responses from college students about their social media usage, perceptions of its impact on body image, and appearance comparisons. The original data set had around 404 records and over 200 variables. Moving on to my research questions. So my first question was, are there any differences between male and female students on the body shame score? Next, I wanted to answer, is there a correlation between social media usage time and body shame score? And the variables I use to answer these questions include gender, Instagram usage, time spent on Instagram, and body shame score. And body shame score measures the degree to which internalized cultural body standards affect a participant's perceived self-worth. Higher scores indicate a higher level of body shame. So more about the variables I use. I use three of the variables are categorical variables, and one of them is a numerical variable. So how did I exactly manipulate the original data? So my analysis about social media usage and body image and the difference impacts between both genders. And therefore, here are the steps I used to manipulate the data. So first, I deleted all the other variables besides the four I used for analysis, and I only kept data for those who use social media and male and female genders. I also deleted data that had missing values and conducted a simple random sampling. More about the simple random sampling. So even though the survey data was independently collected from students, it may have not been randomly sampled. So in order to meet the SRS consumption for hypothesis testing, I use this method for random sampling. First, I use the random generator to generate random numbers for each student on the Google Sheet. Then I sorted the samples from smallest to largest per random numbers by gender. Lastly, I selected the 30 male students with the smallest random numbers and the 30 female students with the smallest random numbers. And here is the new data set. So more about the research questions I tried to answer. So the first one, more specifically, is there significant statistical evidence that the body shame score for female students is greater than the body shame score for male students? In order to answer this question, I used a two-sample t-test. So first, I define my parameters. So I let mu1 be the true mean body shame score for males, and I let mu2 be the true mean body shame score for females. Next up is the hypothesis. So my null hypothesis was that mu1 is equal to mu2. My alternative hypothesis is that mu1 is less than mu2, and the significance level is 0.05. So for my assumptions, the first one is that given samples were selected independently and randomly. Um, my second assumption was that sample size 1 is 30, which is less than 5% population of all male students. And also sample size 2 is also 30, which is also 5%, less than 5% population of all female students. And my last assumption is that since both N1 and N2 are large enough, since they're both equal to 30, central limit theorem states that the sampling distributions are approximately normal. Moving on to my formula for the t value. So the formula would be sample size 1 minus sample size 2 minus mu1 minus mu2 over the square root of standard deviation 1 squared over n1 plus standard deviation 2 squared over n2. And the result of this is negative 2.53118, and we get a p-value of 0.00707. So since the p-value of 0.00707 is less than the alpha value of 0.05, we reject the null hypothesis. There is convincing statistical evidence that the body shame score for female students is greater than the body shame score for male students. So our second research question is, are there any correlations between Instagram usage time and body shame scores for males and females? To answer this question, we did a correlation analysis for both the male students and the female students. And as you can see from our chart and our scatter plots, both male and female students have a weak positive correlation between the Instagram usage time and the body shame scores. However, the females' correlation is slightly higher than the males. So, based on the two sample t-test results, I was not surprised to find out that females generally have a higher body shame score. This is most likely because more females struggle with body image issues than males. And from the correlation analysis, I found out that even though it's weak, there is still a positive correlation between social media usage and body shame scores. Throughout this entire experience, my main challenge was finding the data and trying to process it afterwards. There were not too many data sets related to body image and social media, and when I did eventually find a data set, I realized that there were so many variables in which I had to decide which ones to keep. Although my study did not indicate a strong correlation between the body shame score and social media usage, there could be other factors that impact one's body image, and this can be my future research topic. Here are the sources I used for this project. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation.